All right, thank you for joining me at the latest edition of Ragic Office Hour. So let's get started on the questions. Okay, first question, is there any plan to allow Ragic's telephone field to be linked to WhatsApp? Okay, I suppose you're referring to the mobile app. Okay, because for the web app, we do have a share with WhatsApp feature on the web on the browser. So on the browser, you could just share the entry with WhatsApp. Since most people use such app to make phone calls nowadays, so yeah, you're referring to on the mobile app. It makes sense to do so, especially when users access contacts through Ragic's mobile app. Yeah, that does make sense. So I don't I don't really recall having this conversation with our mobile app developers. So yeah, I will discuss this with our mobile app developer to add this. This should not be too difficult to add. All right, so let me put a star here to make sure I get to this. Okay, can record be moved to another sheet after meeting a criteria? Huh. Okay, we have a list of purchase order or service requests with fields regarding expiration date and status. Okay, in progress and completed. We would like to have a way to move the completed to a new sheet, like archive data or hide it. I think conditional formatting can hide it, but not sure how to unhide it if needed. Conditional formatting can hide fields, but I don't think it can hide a whole record. So a way to do this is that you could put a status field. Well, you already have a status field on the sheet, and you could simply add fixed filters to the sheet or default filters so that it filters out, completed service requests or completed purchase orders. And on another sheet, you could like have a fixed filter for only completed ones, so that when you want to check the completed ones, you can go to that multiple version. So so when you're usually processing these purchase orders or service requests, you'll only see the open ones. Okay, so that's usually the suggestion that we have for this type of um, use cases. So we usually suggest users to use a fixed filter or a default filter to filter out active purchase orders and service requests. And also create a multiple version of this sheet with a fixed filter to list out only complete items. With this setup, when the status changes, it will behave like moving from one sheet to another. Okay, yeah, I hope you understand what I mean. If two sheets are multiple versions and they have fixed filters for different fields, and when you switch from one status to another, and it will basically behave like it's um, moving from one sheet to another. All right, next question. Can Ragic handle loads of data on a sheet or in a subtable? I'm trying to work with a lot of data in my Ragic sheet, but the system seems very slow in one of my sheets where I have 2,000 subtable entries in the record. Is there any chance to improve this? I really like Ragic's flexibility and easiness, but I'm struggling whenever I have lots of data. Um, and sure, you can have lots of data on a listing page. You can have millions of records there. But in a subtable, currently, like when you have thousands of rows in a subtable, it's gonna react a little bit more slowly right now. But we are currently working on some architectural changes to our subtable structure. Um, so this should be something that we can improve in the near future. But for now, one way to work around this is to use the sheet sections. You can hide these 2,000 subtable rows in a different section that's not displayed by default. So that the sheet, so that the form page of a record can load a lot more quickly. But still, the best way is for us to, do the architectural change to make sure that, even if you have thousands of records on a subtable, and the system will still respond really rapidly. So that's something that we're aiming for on this type of architectural change. And the sheet display to render thousands rows quickly. It will be in the future. While it may be useful to find the large subtables in a sheet section, it's not displayed by default. Okay, but when you click on the section that would display the really large subtable, it's going to be a little bit more slow. Yeah, hopefully we can work on that feature and get it ready for testing, soon. Okay. Next question. I have a question about the reports section in Ragic. The options for creating charts and dashboards are currently very limited, as only one data source can be selected. Yes, for most reports, you can only select one data source. Is there an intention to extend this area to create dashboards with several charts from several sources on one page? Yeah. Yeah, we're planning on adding a dashboard report where you can add multiple widgets. Right now, you could add widgets to your listing pages and form pages. So, we're trying to create a report where you can add multiple widgets. Well, before this kind of report is created, you could still, create a sheet and add multiple widgets there. Furthermore, it would be desirable to transform the data with a query function before visualization in order to gain more control. Yeah, I think that's also applicable to the widgets. Yeah, because on the widget, you can add filters to the data source of a widget. We have recently introduced widgets to Ragic Sheets where you can add multiple widgets to a sheet that display small charts based on multiple data sources. We are also planning on creating a report and also account homepage to support to be created with multiple widgets. Yeah, so basically you could create a homepage, account homepage, or a dashboard report with multiple widgets. If you have tried out widgets before, you'll notice that you could choose a data source for the widget and add filters or do all sorts of configurations to display them. So if you're looking for having multiple data sources of charts and reports on the same page, and you can look into widgets, and we will be extending those so that widgets can be added to your homepage and dashboard reports. Oh, cool. A question about widget. Is it possible to show widgets and or data from listing page of a different sheet on a new sheet? For example, I would like to show on the same page, same sheet, purchase orders that are open and shipments that are open. Yeah, I think you can do that. You can add as many widgets as you want on the page, and there's no limitation on what the data sources are. So yes, that's definitely possible. I don't see any reason that you can't do that. So yes, you can add multiple widgets that are from different data sources to the same sheet listing page or form page. Your example sounds perfectly doable. All right. Okay, that's it for our questions for today. So thank you for joining in on our Ragic Office Hour. So if you have more questions, feel free to use the Ragic Office Hour question sheet, and I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. All right, take care.